Now, part 2 of exporting, importing, and implementing a custom weapon into Unreal Development Kit. Now that we've already successfully exported our weapon from 3ds Max, you'll now then go through and open up Unreal Development Kit, and at the upper part of the toolbar, here where we show the Unreal icon, we're going to left click on it and bring up the content browser. We'll go to the lower bottom and we'll choose Import. Now with Import, what we're doing is we're going to go through, locate our UDK folder that we had created. And now for the first part, I'm going to import a texture over. I choose my target of the fuse map, select, and put it over. And we're going to create a package. For a package name, we're suggesting the weapon or the naming convention WP underscore your weapon name, in our case SBX13. And for the group, since we're doing a texture, we choose texture. And for the name of the actual file, we're going to do T for texture underscore WP for weapon underscore the name of the weapon, and then shorten diffuse to DIFF. Also, at the lower part, you're going to roll down to where you get to the category LOD group, level of detail. You're going to pull down the roll down menu and look for texture group, weapon. Now you can also check that for texture group weapons normal and texture group weapon specular for the appropriate maps. We then go and click OK. And we have now started our package, and we have a texture in there. Now the next step that we'll do is we'll go in and choose the import button once more, and we're going to select the mesh file that was created when we exported. Click open. We'll bring that in. Since we already have the category or the weapon area highlighted, the default package is our weapon package we created, but we're not going to put this in texture category. For mesh, we'll name appropriately mesh. And for this naming convention, we're going to choose SK for skeletal, underscore WP for weapon, underscore weapon name. And when you're bringing a mesh over, you're going to want to create a first person and third person version of your weapon. In this case, we're going to do a first person, so we do underscore 1P. We'll then confirm. And now we have a mesh within our weapon package. Now, to take the texture that we have and convert it to a material that's going to allow us to put it on our mesh, we're then going to go in and right-click on the open area of the content browser and choose from the pop-up New Material. Now, of course, it has our package name, but in this group, of course, material, name, we'll do M for material, underscore, WP, underscore, our weapon name, and then click OK. This will bring up the Unreal Material Editor window. We're then going to go to the right at the scroll menu and look under the category texture, and then we're going to look for the texture sample. Left click, drag over to the middle window. We're going to create a texture sample box. Now, to associate a texture into our texture sample box, you can either go through and locate the texture, or easy, click on our area, choose the texture, have it highlighted, and then right click on the texture sample box, use current texture. Or an easy way is also locate the texture and click on the green icon in the area to use selected object in the content browser. Now, when we have this up, we now then want to associate the texture sample to one of the categories of the materials. In this case, since we're using diffuse, we will select the top plug for us, bring it over, connect it to diffuse. This then in the preview window shows on our sphere our diffuse map. We will then go in and just close out the window, which will then give us a confirmation pop-up. We'll select yes. Everything is compiled. And now we have a material in our object. Now, adding the material to our mesh, we're going to go through and double click on the mesh, in our case, the first person mesh. That has brought up the Unreal Animaset editor. We're going to go through and make sure that we have everything correctly done. It looks like at the lower left we will choose mesh. We will have materials. Now, just as in the other area where we did texture sample box, let's have our material highlighted. We will then go in, you'll see no materials associated. We will choose the first one, 0, choose the green to use selected object in content browser. Now that will go through and put a little bit of our on our weapon, but you'll notice that we still have areas that are not shown on our weapon. So for this, we are going to go in and then choose the second material slot to also go, and that completes associating the material onto our weapon. Now, since we've already gone through and we've already assigned bones to our weapons in 3ds Max, it's time to turn those bones into sockets. We will then go to Mesh at the top of the toolbar, choose Socket Manager, and we will go New Socket. Now, we have 3 sockets to do, but for the purpose of the tutorial, we're going to choose Handle, click OK, and in this case, in one word, we're going to choose it to name Weapon Handle Socket. Pretty easy. Click to confirm, and you'll see a gizmo appear showing the bone that you just selected to turn into a socket. Now, when we're finished with this, we will just close out both windows, and our operation is saved. Now, what we'll do then is assign an animation to our mesh. We'll go in, double click on the skeletal mesh. We'll then choose the file. Let's see. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself right there. We're going to go through and right click on the open area, choose the section New Animaset. In this case, we're going to do category group animation, or anim for short. And we'll choose the naming convention K, WP for weapon, name of our weapon, and that would be good for their name set. We'll leave it as that. Now, you'll probably be kind of confused at first when you notice that when the Unreal Animaset editor pops up that it's not a graphic of your weapon. You can correct that by checking the Mesh tab on the roll-down menu, search for your weapon. There's our mesh right there, and here's our weapon. Now for the animation, we'll go through and check down here. We see that the animal rotation's on, but we're going to need to import our animation. So we click File, Import PSA in our Unreal folder that we made. We locate the PSA file, open it, and now that is associated, we'll check the animation tab, and there's our weapon idle animation. Of course, being idle, it's not moving very much. But we have now associated the animation that we created within 3ds Max, and we shall then go through to confirm, just close out the animation window, and in our package we have the animation set, our material, our mesh. We will then go through and right click on our package, choose Save. Now in our case, you'll want to go through and make sure that your hard drive letter, the UDK folder directory, the type of Unreal on there, in our case the May edition we are using for this particular tutorial, the UDK came, content, and since this is a weapon, we will choose the weapons category. We'll open it up and save. Now the save file that you usually want to do is the WP for weapon underscore your weapon name, and of course it'll save it as a UPK file. And we've got everything successful, and I hope that the tutorial helped you through and helped you learn the basics of exporting, importing, and implementing a weapon into UDK. Part 3 shall continue.